Hey man, say man, welcome to 31 Reasons. We got all the reasons for every season. I appreciate y'all boys for stopping through, popping through, dropping through. Y'all know what it is, 31 fam. It's dumb love from my end. But look, right, so we back on 31 Reasons. Today we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna be talking about the Final Four. Yeah, we got four amazing teams left. We got Illinois, UConn, Michigan, and Arizona. So I ain't gonna talk about who I think will win the championship. I'm just gonna basically run through these games. I'm gonna talk about the two separate games and then get my thoughts on it. And then yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much where we're gonna go. And yeah, let's get into it. So first things first, I want to talk about Illinois and UConn. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a big shout out to UConn because like they're just so well coached. Shout out to Dan Hurley too, the psychopath. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know that boy Dan Hurley headbutted Dan rep after the game after a 19-point comeback and buzzer beating walk off win from his freshman phenom Braylon Mullins. But I just want to say shout out to I do want to say shout out to Dan Hurley because like the fact that UConn they don't always get the top recruits. I mean they did have two NBA players, like three NBA players on the roster not too long ago, but as in Donovan Clingan and Stephon Castle where they won the national championship and they literally have won like back to back national championships. So I think they've won two of the last three or something like something crazy like that. But they've been in like the three of the last four Final Fours and championship games. So I just want to say shout out to Dan Hurley because it's not easy to be that consistent, especially when all the other blue blood schools are getting all the top end freshman talent like the Keaton Woglers and the you know what I'm saying, the AJ DeBonstas, the Cam Boozers, the Darius A. Cuffs, like all those other schools are taking these top freshman recruits where this is kind of like how you build these powerhouse schools. You know what I'm saying? But nah, he has 4 year seniors. He's actually starting three freshmen. Not my bad. My bad. I'm thinking about Arizona, but and UConn, he's actually starting a freshman, and the rest of the guys are pretty much older veterans. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? He has a different approach, and I feel like that's why his teams make it so far every year because he has a grown man that's willing to go out there and buy in for the betterment of the team instead of guys that just come in for a 1 year rental deal to go get to the league. But that's my thoughts on UConn. I do want to give Dan Hurley his credit and his love because like, you know what I'm saying, to be this consistent in this sport is just unheard of, and like, you know what I'm saying, he's starting to rival like some of the great coaches, you know what I'm saying, in NCAA history. But that's enough on Dan Hurley. Let's get back to it. So Illinois, I do want to say shout out to Illinois coach because they do have like an amazing offense. They actually have the best offense in sorry, y'all. I had to let my cat in, but they actually have the best offense in the whole NCAA. I think they got the best offense in NCAA history, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and check some numbers on that. But I think Illinois has the best offense in NCAA history, and that is led by their freshman um Keaton Wagler. You know what I'm saying? Which is probably going to be a top 10, top 8, top 10 pick in this draft. And if it was any other draft class, he probably would have went top 5, top 3. You know what I'm saying? But due to this draft class being so stacked, you know what I'm saying, he's probably gonna end up falling to like the eight pick. But he's a 6'6", 6'7", point guard, shooting guard. We'll just say combo guard who can shoot the lasers off the ball. You know what I'm saying? He leads the team with 18 points. Then you got another freshman. I believe it's David. Yeah, David Merkovic. Okay, so 6'9" freshman. Another freshman phenom. And then yeah, we got Keaton Walker. So as you can see, the freshman phenoms are leading the team. So Keaton's leading in assists and points. All right, and then for UConn, we got Tarris Reed Jr. I wasn't really too familiar with Tarris Reed, but he's been the best player in the tournament altogether. If you haven't seen it, he had a 31-27 game. Then he just dropped like 21 and then like 8 with 4 blocks against Duke in a 19-point comeback. So if you don't know, Tarris Reed is one of them. So if I must be honest, I think Tarris, in my humble opinion, I think Tarris Reed is the best player in this game playing today. So I think UConn has the best player and the better coach. That's just me. That's just what I think up to this point. And I would say Illinois definitely has the better offense because everybody on Illinois can shoot like from top to bottom. Like the whole roster can shoot. As you can see, they average 83 points per game. You know what I'm saying? UConn's giving up 65, but they are scoring 77. So it's pretty comparable. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, Illinois has been pretty dominant. They've won every game by a double-digit figure. Whereas UConn, they've won every game by pretty much a double digit. Well, they haven't won every game by a double digit figure, but they their last two opponents was pretty tough. So they're really battle tested. I feel like honestly, UConn, you can never count them out. You know what I'm saying? You can never count out UConn. And like that's just my opinion. You can never count them out. And I feel like this is just like the perfect temperament of everything right here because Illinois, what my bad, this is just the perfect thing to sum it all up. Right? Illinois is favored at 1.5. And I feel like the only reason why Illinois is favored at 1.5, which is basically a 2 point win, I feel like the odds makers are pick Illinois because for one, they have the better talent. Let's just say like they have the guys that's gonna probably go like they have one guy or two guys that's probably gonna be in the league for 8, 9 years. So when you look at it, they have the better top end potential, right? So like Keaton Walker could definitely end up being the best player in this game. Like he has the highest the highest chance of having a breakout game. Let's just say he has the highest chance of having a high ceiling game where he goes for 30 or 40. Whereas I don't really see nobody on UConn going for 30, 40 like that. I mean, maybe Tarris Reed Jr. can go for a 30 ball, but with his play style, he kind of plays like Al Jefferson to me. So I don't really know how that's gonna work because you know what I'm saying, UConn runs a pretty big lineup. They're tremendously coached and they play defense. So it's gonna be a little tough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not UConn. Illinois, they play defense and they got a super tall team. My bad on that. But yeah, Illinois is a super tall team. Illinois actually has the tallest team in the nation. So because they like their point guard is 6'7", and then I think they got one guard on the floor that's like six something, but everybody else is like 6'9" and up. So they have the biggest lineup in the country. Um, so yeah, I feel like that's gonna really play a factor. The fact that they are super tall, are super big, and are super long, and they do just have the best offensive output. They are the best offensive team in NCAA history. So when you take that into account, I feel like the biggest team in the country have the better you would say high end talent, and then you know what I'm saying, like they have the better high end talent, and then they just have the bigger team. They're just the biggest team in the nation. So I just feel like they have all the things working towards them, and I feel like that's why they're probably favored. Maybe they should be favored by more. Maybe I don't know, but I think personally I feel like coaching goes underrated, especially like in the college. Like more, I mean, my bad. Coaching is more underrated in the NBA because the players are so good, so people feel like the coaching doesn't matter. But just like in college, the coaching matters. But here is really where it's put on the forefront. So the best coaches are kind of always gonna get the furthest, no matter what. Even if they lack talent, they can still find a way to get wins just because of the system and having people more bought in because they're trying to get to their goals instead of already being there. So yeah, so I just feel like UConn is just well coached, bro. And I feel like Duke was on their way to a natty. I'm gonna be real. Duke's defense and the way that Cam Boozer played, I feel like wasn't a team gonna be able to beat Duke. And the fact that they came back down 19 points on Duke, that tells me a lot about this team. You know what I'm saying? Like that shows me the grit and the grind. And then when you got players like Tarris Reed, you got Braylon Mullins, you know what I'm saying? You got solo ball. Like they got Danbury. Like they just have a good team. You know what I'm saying? It's just a good team of guys. And like they've been together, they're veterans. And me personally, bro, I just think they're gonna win, right? If you look at it, Junior, you know what I'm saying? This guy's like getting minutes. Then he got also I forgot about Alex Caravan, a, a, a sleeper guy. This guy could go for 30 any night. You know what I'm saying? You got Braylon Mullins, you got Tarris Reed. Like this team is very, very experienced. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of experience out here where like you know what I'm saying, so like the guys that's leading the charge are all upperclassmen, Silas, Solo, you know what I'm saying, you got Alex, then you got you know what I'm saying, you got Tarris Reed, then we got Braylon Mullins, which is a 6'6" guard, but he's an NBA player, so we already seen what he did against Duke, rip their hearts out, so he deserves to be in there. But like as you can see, their roster is pretty much full of veteran guys, and when you got put a whole bunch of veteran guys, grown men, when you put a whole bunch of veteran guys who are grown men who are trying to accomplish a goal for their coach who they love. And honestly, I could tell that the way Dan Hurley coaching, just the way he headbutted that ref, he goes to war for his guys. So I know them guys love Dan. So like when you got grown men willing to buy in and they're talented and you know what I'm saying, you working with fire. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, Kylan Boswell for their team. for Illinois. He's a great player. He's a senior, probably their captain or whatever. But I mean, he's been pretty bad. He's been bad throughout the tournament. He hasn't been bad, but his last game I believe wasn't very good. So he hasn't been too consistent. Junior Jake Davis, pretty much just a shooter. Freshman doesn't get much minutes. Ben, Tom Evok. So the Evok, the Avicic brothers, they're pretty much finesse players. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Tarris can kind of have his way with them. I feel like this is a good matchup for Tarris just because he can kind of get it in the paint and slow it down. But they are tall. But I mean, Tarris has immaculate footwork. So don't be surprised if Tarris Reed hits these guys with dream shakes, up and under, hip de doo, whoop de doo, whatever. But then you got David Merck, you got Petrovic, AJ Reed. You also got Andre Stojakovic, right? This guy is coming off the bench, and this guy has been lighting up. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had it on me, but my bad. Kyle Boswell is a senior. Then we got the Avicic brothers. Like I say, two stretch bigs, 7'1", 7'2". I feel like even though that they're tall, I don't feel like they're the most physically imposing. So I think Tarris Reed can actually have his way. 'Cause like I said, he plays like a prime Al Jefferson, and I feel like that play style is kind of hard to guard because people don't guard it as much now. So I feel like he might can have his way depending on how he comes out this game and if he's truly healthy. But then we got, you know what I'm saying, the freshman phenom, Keaton Wagler, their best player, leading scorer. And then we got Andre Stojakovic, right? So I feel like the keys for this game is gonna be Andre Stojakovic and Keaton Wagler. It's gonna be how good if Keaton Wagler can be the best player in this game, they'll win. You know what I'm saying? If Keaton Wagler can be the best player in this game, they'll win. And if Andre Stojakovic can just continue what he's been doing off the bench because he has been lighting it up in this tournament. He hasn't had the craziest scoring explosions, but he's been efficient and he's done his job. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely an NBA player. That's Peja Stojakovic's son, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know. 6'7" guard. You know what I'm saying? And he could play defense, he could shoot. So if Keaton can be the best player in the starting lineup and match whatever Tarris Reed is gonna give you, I feel like that's already the blueprint, right? And then because David Merck is gonna do his thing. Merkovich, the freshman, he's gonna do his thing. He's gonna rebound. He's gonna stretch the floor. All the players on his team are gonna score. They're gonna do their thing, but they're gonna need their leader, Keaton Walker. He's gonna have to be the best player. He's gonna have to outplay Tarris Reed Jr. in this spot. That's what I think. I think they're just gonna have to match up. If he can match Tarris Reed's impact and production, I feel like the rest of the team kind of they'll be able to pick it up and it'll be a tough out for them, for UConn. And like I said, if Andre Stojakovic comes to play off of the bench, this could be a blowout. This could end up being a blowout Illinois' way. So I can see why they're favorite, and I can completely understand. But the reason why I'm gonna go with UConn, right? The reason why I'm gonna go with UConn, and again, I'm gonna go back to the roster, correct? Right? I'm gonna go back to the roster. All of these guys right here, all of these guys are pretty much like all the guys they're running with. Chat is pretty much upperclassmen. Like I say, Solo Ball, Silas. You know what I'm saying? Alex Caravan, Dwayne Komara, Alec. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, this team is full. Tarris Reed Jr. I think he's the best player in the tournament right now. Well, he's been playing like the best player in the tournament. Um, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So as you can see, they have a pretty tall team. They don't run just a whole bunch of little guys. They got one guy 6'1". I don't think he gets much minutes. 6'3". But everybody else is 6'7" and above, 6'4", 6'7" and above. So it's not like they're lacking too much in the size department. Illinois is just the biggest team in the country. Like I said, right? So I gave Illinois, they have the higher upside with the potential with their players having a great game. So like I said, Keaton Wagler, David Merck, like they're young and they have higher ceilings and higher potential. So it's like they are more likely for a breakout game or a bust out game, I guess you would say, because they have more high end talent and potential. And for one, the offense is just better over there. They just have the best offense in NCAA history. And like I said, they're just the biggest team. So it's a lot of things working towards them and for them. But in this instant, I'm just gonna have to go with the underdog because, like I said, in college, coaching matters more pretty much than anything. And when you got a psychopath like Dan Hurley who's willing to headbutt his coach, headbutt a ref and go to war for his guys, like that goes a long way with me. And I just know like Braylon Mullins isn't the top freshman pick, but there goes your young high end potential right there. The man hit a buzzer beater against Duke from 40 feet out after getting a steal, after forcing a steal. So like if that don't tell you, and mind you, that boy couldn't hit. I think that was his first 3-point he made the whole game, and he was injured coming off the bench. So that just goes to show you like what they'll do for Dan. You know what I'm saying? They were down 19 against Duke, probably the best team in the nation up to that point. They wasn't playing like in the tournament, but they was through the regular season. But they ended up coming back down 19 and ended up winning. That just shows you the wherewithal and just the heart of that team. And I feel like in college, wherewithal and heart, coaching goes underrated. And then when you got the talent and the guys to back it up, I feel like it's just a match made in heaven. So I would say, due to UConn just being a great a great university, the consistency in the coaching staff and just how they continuously year by year bring in great players, and the program never takes a step back. I'm just gonna have to go with UConn in this spot. So I would take the underdogs in this spot. And yeah, that's what I would have to go with. But like I said, Tarris Reed Jr. is gonna have to be the best player in this game. I think he's been the best player in the tournament up to this point. So I feel like if he just comes out and does what he's been doing for what he's been doing this whole tournament, and you get guys like Solo Ball, Alex Caravan. Also, Alex Caravan is a sleeper guy. If Alex Caravan could come out here and play his best game, it'll be tough for Illinois. But you know what I'm saying? And then Braylon Mullins, you know what I'm saying? Braylon Mullins is another X factor. Like I say, right? So I feel like the two X factors on UConn is definitely gonna be, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna count Tarris Reed. Tarris Reed is gonna he's gonna ball. He's gonna give you he's gonna give you about 20 and 10. So we're gonna say the two X factors for UConn is Alex Caravan and Braylon Mullins. If Alex Caravan and Braylon Mullins can get hot from three, they're gonna cause Illinois a lot of trouble. So like I said, Illinois, you need Keaton Wagler, and you're gonna need Andre Stojakovic's bench minutes to be what they've been the whole tournament. You're gonna need Keaton Wagler to just be the best player in this game, honestly. And then on UConn side, you're really just gonna need Braylon Mullins to step it up and play not like a freshman, and Alex Caravan to come and play like a senior and play like the great player that we all know him to be. But yeah, that's my thoughts on UConn, Illinois. So I feel like UConn will be making a championship game berth, and that's my thought. Y'all let me know who y'all think gonna win. I know I said a mouthful, but y'all let me know who y'all think gonna win in that matchup. All right, so now to get on to the next matchup, right? We're gonna talk about a team that's near and dear to my heart. Um, so I'm a University of Miami fan. I'm a U fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been a U fan pretty much my whole life, ever since I figured out that the college was in Miami. That's always been my team. Miami Heat is my team as well. So I pretty much rock everything Miami. But so Michigan's not my team, but they got an M, so I guess it's close enough. But the reason why I fell in love with this Michigan team, right, is because um, for one, well, I'm gonna just tell you why I started watching them, because I wasn't the biggest college fan. I'm not a Michigan fan at all. So I watched this team because of Elliot Cadeau, the point guard that transferred from UNC. I knew he was a great point guard coming out of Link Academy just by the way he set the national Geico record for assists in the championship tournament or whatever. And after watching him play, just seeing how he maneuvered on the court, or looking at some of his AAU film, I just knew he was a great player. I think he's one of the best point guards I've seen with my tribe, especially from a pure point guard standpoint. So I was me just kind of following him, watching him go from North Carolina to Michigan. So when I watched Michigan for the first time, I was like, whoa. Because I already knew Yaxel Lindenberg. I seen him at UAB, and I knew he was a great player, and I seen he went to Michigan. I didn't know how it was going to work, because I knew that. And I seen a Daymar. Mine's crazy because I knew about a Daymar as well from UCLA. I knew he didn't really get much minutes. I knew he didn't play. But I seen those guys went there with Elliott, and I was like, okay, that could be interesting. But in my mind, I'm like, Elliott really hasn't been able to hit his three, so I don't see how he's going to play with two guys that's not really 3-point shooters. Like, that's going to kind of hinder his game, and I don't know how he's going to, you know what I'm saying, he attacks the cup. But from the first game I saw them play, I knew that they was amazing. Because it wasn't just from Elliott, because Elliott didn't even play good the first time I watched them. It was more so, neither did Yaxel. Yaxel didn't play good either the first time Yaxel was tentative. Elliott couldn't throw the ball in the ocean the first couple of times I watched him play, but it was the team overall. You could just tell they were great. Like Morez Johnson, when I seen him play, he looked like Joel Embiid, just the way he run and he moved. I'm like, oh, who is that? He blocking shots, getting offensive rebounds, dunking, Elliott throwing them lobs. Then a Daymar is just like, if you don't know about a day, you better tap in. That boy is going to be a problem in the NBA. Like, I don't know how anybody is sleeping on him and don't give him minutes. He's going to be a problem. That's probably my favorite big man in the draft. But a Daymar, seeing him play out there, how big he is, how skilled with the passing, the blocking, like, it's just, shit just blew my mind. And then you get to the bench, you got Trey McKinney, a 5-star freshman, All-American player who's coming off the bench, but he doesn't miss. Like he plays like a junior senior. You got Roddy Gale coming off your bench. You had LJ Kaysen, probably the best backup point guard and he did that for at least a good month stretch. He was the best backup point guard, if not for the whole season, the best backup point guard in college basketball. So when you add all of those pieces together with Yaxel Lendenberg, then Namari Burnett played with Jalen Green. If you ever watch Jalen Green at Prolific Prep, Namari Burnett was like the second best player on that team. So the amount of talent from every position, from Elliot Cadeau, a five-star All-American. You got Namari Burnett, somebody who played with NBA talent, who was a top guy. You got Yaxel Lendenberg. You got Morez Johnson. I didn't even know who Morez was, but that's a junkyard dog. He's a problem. And then you had a Dave Mara. Like, then you throw Roddy Gale. Roddy Gale come off the bench, is just super athletic, super energetic, crossing people over, spin layup. Like, that team, once I seen them, I said, bro, this might be the best college team I've ever seen. I was telling my cousin and everything, like, yo, no cap, put your bets in Michigan winning that national championship, right? So that was just me giving you my backstory on how I figured out how I started like watching Michigan so much this season, why I've covered them more than any other team. That's why I feel like Michigan is the best team in the nation, but they're the best team I've ever watched. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this breakdown right here is not going to be too long, because you can already tell Michigan is who I'm going with. I think Michigan pretty much has this game. But it's not just from fandom. I just want to give you where I was from a fan point, but now I'm going to give you the basketball sense. And Arizona, great team. I don't want to take anything away from Arizona. Arizona actually has a better record. They're 36-2. As good as Michigan has been, and as good as I think Michigan is, they have a worse record than Arizona. And that's not saying anything, because Michigan is 35-3. Arizona's 36-2. So you know what I'm saying? So Arizona is like, they're like, whatever level you think Michigan is on, Arizona's on that level. If not, they probably might be better. You know what I'm saying? Because they might be better well coached. They might be more composed. They might have more camaraderie because they've been together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. Those things may be on the table, and they have been the most consistent. And they're the best. And Arizona is the best defense in college basketball. But I'm gonna be honest, man. When it comes down to it, bro, when you look at how what Yaxel Lendenberg has been doing these past 3 games, like his first NCAA tournament game wasn't very good, right? Let's be honest. He had like a 9-point game, but I mean they won by 20. So I mean that's Yax. When Yax plays against bad competition, he doesn't really give out his full input. But every game after that, 26, 23, 28, 7-7, 10-7. Like he's been Dominican LeBron ever since that game against Furman. So I just want to say shout out to Yax, man. And I think Yax is the best player left in the tournament. I mean, you can say what you want, and everybody can have their opinions. Matter of fact, y'all drop in the chat who y'all think is the best player left in the tournament. I think right now, Tarris Reed is playing the best. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like Yax is definitely the best player, and he's up there rivaling him for playing the best, because he's had this 3-game stretch has been legendary from Yaxel. So you know what I'm saying? So Yaxel, I feel like Michigan has the best player in the game. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, me personally, I think Michigan is the deeper team. They just don't have the better record or the better defense, and that's where we're at, right? And I do want to give Arizona their credit, because Arizona is 36-2. They have the best defense in the league. They've only lost 2 games, and you know what I'm saying? Their leading scorer, Braden Burry, is a freshman. Their leader rebounder, Awaka. This is where I think they're gonna have trouble at, because Awaka is a 6'8" center or whatever, right? He leads their team in rebounding, and he comes off of the bench. You know what I'm saying? So a 6'8" center, if this your leading rebounder, this is who you're going with trying to get rebounds. I mean, Michigan isn't the greatest rebounding team, but they got a lot of size, right? All right, so the leading scorer on Michigan, like Yaxel Lendenberg, we already know, Big Ten Player of the Year. Morez Johnson, like I said, a junkyard dog, 6'10", super big, super strong, 7 rebounds a game. Then we got my, you know what I'm saying, my favorite point guard in college, Elliot Cadeau, 5.8 assists, basically 6. You know what I'm saying? He's been playing masterful. Been playing absolutely masterful. As you can see, yeah, everything pretty matches up. 87 points per game for Michigan, 86 points per game for Arizona. So Michigan's a little bit better offensively. Points against 69 for Michigan, 68 for Arizona. So I think Arizona's the #1 team in defense, and I think Michigan might be #2. Michigan edges them in field goal by 1%. Arizona gets them by the rebounds by 2. Michigan gets them assists. Michigan got them on the blocks. They got them on the steal. So if you really look at it, it's kind of like a deadbolt tie. Like when it comes to the so like what am I trying to say? So when it comes to the stats of the teams, everything pretty much matches up. So we're looking at a collision course. I'm gonna be honest. This right here is a crash course. We're looking at a classic. I'm just call it how I see it, right? So like I said, Michigan has a special place in my heart due to Elliot Cadeau, Yaxel Lendenberger, Deamara, those guys, and just because this is probably the first college team I've watched through the whole season, and I've watched every single game. You know what I'm saying? So like they have a special place in my heart, and I think they're the best team I've ever seen. So I would love for them to go finish it off. And I do want to say that I think they're gonna win this game. I think the odds makers have them favored for a reason. And the reason why they're favorite is because not only do they have the best player in the game in Yaxel Lindenberg, but they also have Morez Johnson, 6'10", and Dave Mara, 7'3", right? And Arizona has a 7'2" guy as well. So that's a challenge for Morrow. But the thing is, with Mara being able to play make the way that he does and having a post game, and he doesn't necessarily have to score out of the post. If they really throw it to him for to create the double, so he can swing it and they can create advantages. So regardless, he doesn't really have to score on that matchup. He just needs to be able to play make and do the things that he normally does. Play make defense, rebounding, block shots, rim run. Like all he has to do is play his role. Right. The good thing about it is that guy's not really much of a floor stretcher. He can hit a three, but he's not really a floor stretcher. So now you're gonna have a Daymar at his best at the basket, and I feel like that is the real key to this game. Like you can say all the numbers that you want, but 3-point shooting and inside scoring is really the keys to this game. Both teams play fast. I feel like Michigan is the best team in transition in the league, just because Elliot Cadeau as a passer and Black Yaxel Lindenberg, Morez Johnson, the whole nine, all of them as passers are just amazing. So I feel like that Michigan is definitely the better passing team, and that leads to them being the better transition team. But rebounding and defense leads to transition. So obviously Arizona is a great rebounding and transition team because they are the number one defense. So I feel like with a sped up game that works in Michigan's favor. With both teams being 2-point dominant, meaning they score inside the paint, that is in Michigan's favor because Michigan, I feel like, has the best 2-point defense because of Dave Mara, when you got 7'3", 6'10", 6'10", and then you got guards that fly around and are super athletic and can get blocked on the perimeter, I feel like it just makes it really tough. Like you have to hit three. I feel like that's the only way to beat this team. You have to either slow it down and hit a bunch of threes and they have to play bad, or you just have to attempt a lot and just hope that they just don't hit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Arizona doesn't attempt a lot. They don't do neither. They don't attempt a lot. They do hit their threes, but they don't attempt a lot. A lot of their shots are coming at the goal, and that's what Michigan does best. Like they force long twos, they force you to go to the basket and meet all of that length. And if you can't finish or draw the fouls, you're just getting a bad shots where they can just get out of transition. And Arizona's best player, I feel like it's a toss up. You can say Jaden Bradley, Big 12 Player of the Year. Shout out to Bro Senior. Or you could say it's Braden Mullins, or you could say it's Cole Pete. I feel like on any given night it could be, and that's another thing. Both teams, any given night, we don't know who will go off. This could be a Trey McKinney game. This could be this could be a Braden Burries game, a Roddy Gale game. This could be Elliot Cadeau. Elliot could go 25 and 10 tonight. Like you don't know who's gonna go off in this one. That's what makes it so special. Both teams are so deep and so talented. So I feel like this is gonna go down to the wire. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's gonna go down to the wire. I feel like Michigan wins by 2. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Yeah, Michigan wins by 2 just because like I feel like Michigan is just gonna hit more threes, and the fact that Arizona just doesn't shoot the three as prolific as they're gonna need to, because trying to force it inside, unless you can draw fouls, trying to force it inside is not gonna, you know what I'm saying? And then the fact that your big man isn't really gonna force a Daymar to step out to the 3-point line, so if he can just park in the paint, that rim is shut off. You know what I'm saying? That's where Koa Pete and pretty much the rest of the players live. Like all of their guys, even Jaden Bradley, he shoots threes, but he's more of a mid-range, get to the basket, slashing type of guy. So with that type of game, them in-between shots will be there, but those are the shots they want to give up. So you're really going to be taking the shots the defense wants you to take. Same thing with Cole. He kind of a bully ball, Carmelo, mid-range type of player. So I feel like the keys for them, not UConn, the keys for Arizona, you're going to need. But yeah, Jaden Bradley. That's why I don't know why I keep saying Denbury, but Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries are the key to this game, right? Toby Awaka, yeah, 6'8" center forward. I mean, he's definitely gonna be key because rebounding is gonna be a big part in this game. So I feel like he's a big key, but they're gonna need that anyways. Like with the size of a Michigan, you're gonna need your 7'2" center, and you're gonna need Toby Walker to come regardless. That's a given. If the front court doesn't come to play, Michigan eat them alive. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? But it's really gonna be on Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries. I feel like those are the X factors for Arizona. If Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries can outplay the Michigan guards, they have a chance. I'm gonna say that because I feel like with the defensive output that Arizona can put out there, they can make it tough on the front court in Michigan. So I feel like if Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries can hit 3, 4 threes a piece and be that floor spacing that they need to keep the lane honest to where you can get to the paint and maybe space the defense out some and makes Michigan's defense make Michigan's 2-point defense not so lethal. I feel like that is their keys to the game. So I feel like you need Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries and all your 3-point shooters. You need all of them to play their best basketball. The big men, it's a given. They have to come to play because if they don't, they're going against the best front court and they're going against the best front court in the country. So if you don't come to play, they'll eat you alive. So that's a given. But Braden Burries, Jaden Bradley, you got to be the Big 12 player of the year. You're going against the Big 10 player of the year, so you're going to have to outplay Yaks. Braden, well, you don't have to outplay him, but you're going to have to match the production. And Braden Burries, same with you, brother. You've been killing. You just gonna have to keep going. You just gonna have to keep doing what you've been doing. He's actually been their most consistent shooter throughout the tournament. So I'm expecting a big game from Braden Burries. I feel like that's Michigan's biggest threat right there is Braden Burries, being the fact that he's 6'4", 200, and shoots the laces off the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the key for Arizona. If they can get great games from Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries, like if they can get 40 points from them guys a piece or 45 out of them, Michigan might be in some serious trouble. Cause I feel like Michigan's guard play is probably where they're, if anything is going to struggle, it might be Michigan's guard play because Arizona is tough and they're with the number one defense. That's tough on guards. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're small. So I mean, the key for this game for me is Elliott. I'm gonna just be honest. Is Elliott and Trey McKinney. If Trey McKinney can come out, because Trey McKinney is their best shooter, is Michigan's best shooter. Because we all know Yaks has to be Yaks is the best player in this game. Yaks is the best player on the floor tonight. As long as Yaks can come out there and outperform Cole Pete and be the big if Yaks can just be the player he was for these past 3 games, cool. A day tomorrow, we know he's gonna bring the front court. We know what they're gonna do. It's gonna be a battle of the front court, so that's gonna be a matchup. So I can't even say those are the X factors because we know those two groups have to come to play. It's the guards, Namari Burnett, Elliot Cadeau, Trey McKinney. All of y'all have to play. If they can outplay, yeah, that's what I mean. Honestly, that's what I think it comes down to. I feel like whoever has the better game from the guard standpoint is gonna pretty much win. And I feel like honestly, I feel like Michigan has the best guards. Elliot Cadeau is the best point guard in the country, if you ask me. I think he's the best point guard in the country because the fact that he went from being a non-shooter to a knockdown shooter and having the lead and from going from an on-ball player to a on-ball point guard who controls everything to a point guard who lets his teammates run action and he gets the ball in certain spots. Like I feel like if you put Elliot Cadeau in Braden Smith or Jeremy Fear's position, he does exactly what they're doing, if not better. Like he's probably averaging 17 and 10. I'm just be honest, 16, 14 and 10. He's probably averaging what Braden's averaging, 15 and 10. If he has his own team this up where he gets to run the ball, he's running all the pick and rolls. I feel like you can see the best of what Elliot Cadeau could be. And I think Elliot is the one. I think Elliot is gonna be the one to bust this game open. I'm expecting like maybe not the biggest scoring game, but like 14 and 12 assists. So Elliott, I need 14 and 12. Namari, I need 2, 3 threes. Uh, um, Trey, I need 2, 3 threes, and Roddy, I just need you to kind of play. Oh, that's another thing. I feel like Michigan is just a deeper team. Roddy Gale, Trey McKinney, Will Shutter, like we just got guys that's gonna come off the bench and they could start on any other team in the country. So I feel like with us being able to run 8 guys or 7, 8 guys deep, I feel like our 7, 8 is better than their 7, 8. And I feel like when the teams match up so close on the statistics, the talent level is comparable, the styles are comparable. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, it just comes down I mean, it does come down to X's and O's, but it comes down to who wants it more, and then it comes down to the little details like Michigan being a great 2-point defense, Arizona being a dominant 2-point inside scoring team, not really being a high volume 3-point shooting team. And I feel like that's really going to be the key for the teams. I feel like Arizona just doesn't get up enough threes, and they're so 2-point dominant that they really haven't had to go up against a Daymar that's going to really shut the paint off, because a Daymar shuts paint off completely. So with that being said, a Daymar shutting the paint off, Elliot Cadeau having a masterclass game, Namari, Roddy Gale, Will Shutter, everybody just having this deep approach, and us knowing that they are a great defensive team and we have to hit our threes. I just feel like we can generate more threes and we can generate cleaner looks than they'll be able to generate. And I feel like the production from the best players are going to be like a deadbolt. And that's where I'm at with it. I think Michigan takes this game probably by like 2 or 3 points. So yeah, I got UConn versus Michigan in the national championship. That's where I'm at with it. I know this was a mouthful. I'm sorry if I repeated a lot of the information, but I just really wanted to beat it into y'all brains. But I appreciate everybody for stopping through, popping through, chopping through. Y'all know what it is, 31 family. It's dumb love from my end. But yeah, man, y'all drop who y'all think gonna be in the national championship. And yeah, so we're gonna be watching that game and we're gonna see what's going on. And I'll probably make a video about like after the game and what happened. I'm not probably not. We're gonna see though. If I do, I'll drop it over here somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Y'all will see it. But yeah, man. Say thank you to everybody that checked out my first 2 videos. They did pretty good. Thank you, and we do got more videos coming, like the MIP, and we're gonna be doing the rest of the award races, like all NBA and all them things. So we also will be covering the game. We will be covering the championship game as well, so I'll be making a video for that as well. Another thing, I have a gaming channel and I got a reaction channel, channel 31 Reacts, channel 31 Gaming. It should be down there in the description, so y'all check those out. I will be throwing a watch party, watching both games tonight on my channel 31 Gaming YouTube, so y'all go check that out. We will be live. But yeah, like I said, appreciate y'all boys for stopping through, popping through, dropping through. Y'all know what it is, 31 fam. It's dumb love from my end. Y'all let me know who y'all think winning these games, and drop who y'all think gonna be the most important players on each team on every side. But yeah, man, y'all boys be good. 31 out.